it would be difficult to be too condescending to a baboon. They are wonderful to observe, but my goodness, they are quite, they represent to me sort of the primate in its most primitive form. And if you've ever, no, these guys are running away, I'm afraid. If you've ever been into a lodge, there will always be a story that somebody will be able to tell you about baboons getting into a room and what they do to a room when they get into it. And it's a new level. And there's a story that I relate quite regularly that was told to me by a sort of doyen of hospitality. There was an Arab prince coming to one of these lodges, I think it was at Londolozi. Arab prince coming to a lodge. He had booked out the entire place. He had an entourage of, I don't know, maybe 40 people. But there were a number of 2 or 3 wives, and he had a hairdresser and a chef and a private massage therapist, and you name it. He had it, bodyguards, everything. Anyway, it was an extremely important kind of thing that they got everything absolutely tickety-boo for this fellow. Otherwise, he was going to be deeply dissatisfied, get back in his private jet and fly off back to wherever it was that he came from, to whatever desert oasis that he emerged out of. And what he did was, he actually turned out to be a very nice fellow, but just as he was arriving, they went to do a final check of the room, and they opened up the door to the room, and a troop of baboons had got into the suite. And what they had done is that they had eaten all the snacks. They had opened all the beers in the minibar. He wasn't obviously that devout, by just biting through the cans and then drinking them. They had drunk all the miniatures in the minibar by smashing them and then sort of licking the stuff off the floor. They had, looking for tracks here, they had slept on the bed. There were 2 of them hanging from the ceiling fan, spinning round and round. They'd broken the mirror because one of them had thought it was another baboon and attacked the mirror in the bathroom. And what a baboon does, wherever he is relieve himself. He does not have any troubles with his bowels, and the place smelled like something out of the bowels of hell. And this is what happened. As the plane was landing on the airstrip, this Arab chap was about to come down to the room, and his room had been destroyed by a gang of baboons. They were still in there, going ballistic, because of them now. All the staff went in to try and clean the place, and the baboons were still in there. So they went crazy. They relieved themselves further in their terror, and they left eventually sort of broke out of a bathroom window, disappeared into the bush. And all of the staff descended on the place to clean it up. The prince was on the deck by this stage having his welcome drink, insisting that he go to his room. And they were sort of holding him on the deck by saying, well, we've just seen a leopard down there. And then a ranger would pop out around the corner and say, oh, it's just down here. So they'd rush off there, and then another one would pop up somewhere else and say, oh, it's just down here. All of them constantly on the radio with the cleanup team in the room. And eventually they got the room clean in about 20 minutes, but the smell was unfathomable. So what they did was they found some elephant dung nearby. They put it on the lawn just outside the room, and they sprayed it with water. It was very old elephant dung. It wasn't fresh at all. And they said, we'll just have to tell him that this is what smells, and that the elephants come so close, and that's why it smells like this. Anyway, as they the last cleaner went out the front of the room, he came in through the main entrance, and everything seemed to be okay.